So I think one of the things that I find really interesting about that letter, I mean, the joke is always my parents don't throw anything out, and there was a reason that my mom kept that letter. It was important to her to have that letter. One of the things I love is that letter would have been typed by Mrs. McKellar on an IBM Selectric in where Toni sits. That was where the school secretary sat. So she would have typed that letter 10 feet from where I work every day. It was signed by John Tansey, who was the head of the junior school at the time, and I had my interview in Tom Stevens' office, in the admissions office, and I remember having my interview in that office. John Tansey, who signed that letter, went on to be the legendary long-serving head of Crescent School, and a real giant of independent education, and he would have been a young man when he was the head of the junior school here. So in addition to for me, the obvious story of that was a day the trajectory of my life changed, and in ways that, of course, none of us saw. I was an 8-year-old boy who had been accepted into the only school that my parents really knew, and the only school that I applied to for sure. So, and I've told this story before, and I honestly have no idea why, but my dad didn't go to work that day. I don't think it has anything to do with he was waiting for this letter to come. I don't think it would have resonated that deeply. I mean, they were obviously waiting to hear from the school whether I got in or not. But I came out of school and my dad was on the schoolyard, and I walked to and from school, and my dad was on the schoolyard, and we walked home together, and we were partway home, and he said, "Oh," we were talking about something. I remember this so clearly, and he said, no, you won't be going to Sunnylea School next year for grade 4 because we got the letter from St. George's College, and you're going to be going there." And the process that so many kids have gone through since of, in August I'm in at Beatty's on Eglinton Avenue, no relation, different spelling, but I'm at Beatty's getting fitted for a suit and dress shirts and a tie, which was not a thing I had ever thought I would wear to school. But there's a Georgian touchstone that we've all gone through, being 8 years old and strapped into a suit and tie for the first time. So. And that lead up into my first day of school was what everybody experiences. I was anxious and trying to show off a little bit and impress my teacher and impress the other kids. My classroom was in the 3rd floor of C House, so it was the top of this building. It's now the junior school art room, and we were, as the grade 4s, we were the smallest kids in the school and the youngest kids in the school, and we were the only ones in this building in C House. There were no other classrooms in here, so we sort of felt set aside, I think, but that was made to feel very special. It wasn't made to feel kind of, exiled or whatever. That was, what a cool place to be at the top of this building, the top of this beautiful old building. It's an interesting story for me, especially because my sons have now come through this school. My sons are both graduates of the school. My nephew came through the school. He's a graduate of the school. And something started on March 26, 1976 that continues to resonate very deeply. That day changed my life. And it's kind of fun. And I'm really happy to pause today and acknowledge it.